Hello everybody, my name is Ashlyn and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draw heads. I'm going to be using the Loomis method in order to show you guys how to proportionally draw a head from any angle. This is a very common method, very popular. You'll see a lot of YouTubers referencing this same method. Starting off, we're going to do a sphere exercise. So you want to imagine the human head as a sphere with an attached jaw. So here I am drawing the sphere without using the correction tool. That is not good. You want to try to draw with your whole arm, with not just your wrist, because that creates limited mobility. You want to draw with your elbow as well. And that is how you will get naturally almost semi-perfect circles. It won't be perfect, but that's kind of the nature of humans, is we're not perfect and we're not symmetrical. You are first going to start by drawing a circle or your sphere, and you're going to cut it vertically and horizontally in the middle. Imagine when you're making this cut with this circle in the middle that you are making a slice out of the sphere. This slice is going to be about 2/3 of the entire circle. So you're leaving about 1/6 up top and 1/6 on the bottom, which combined makes about 1/3 of the head. 2/3 is going to be this inner circle that will slice the main sphere. This will be how you can kind of frame the face and visualize the planes that the face is on. And you can do exercises with spheres in order to see the different angles and planes that the face lives on and which direction it's facing. After you lay out your middle dividing guidelines across the vertical axis and the horizontal axis, you're then going to want to create the guidelines from the top of the inner sliced circle on the top and bottom in order to create another top bottom plane. So now you can see the top, the bottom, and the sides, and you can tell that the sphere is pointing in this southwest direction. I'm just going to be doing this again, visualizing my sphere and the two planes, cutting it in half both ways, and then selecting my guidelines from the top and bottom of the sliced circles. If you repeat this practice, you'll be able to understand the way that the face is supposed to turn in any circumstance. It's pretty easy to keep in the back of your head. Obviously, this doesn't work every time. It's supposed to be the most average person there is. It also doesn't take into account facial features with the mouth being open or anything like that. So this is just a very basic, rough way to lay out your face. Taking a step back to our side profile and our front profile, we're going to take 1/3 of the large circle and extend it down from the inner circle's very bottom. And that will be where our chin rests. You're going to use the x-axis guideline and indent where the eye socket would be. This is going to be your brow line. You're going to add your nose, your mouth and chin, and your jaw will come back and connect to that y-axis on the guideline that you made earlier. Your ear sits just below the brow line inside that inner circle. As you can see, the very top is the top. Your second guideline that you made is going to be your hairline. Your middle x-axis guideline is going to be your brow line. Bottom inner circle guideline is going to be your nose. And then the very bottom is going to be your chin. And halfway in between your nose and chin will be your mouth, which typically lies at the very bottom of the large circle. Another thing to keep in mind is the very back of the head to the very tip of the nose, as well as the very top of the head to the very tip of the chin, should make a square. Now let's look at some proportions for the front of the face. I will be using my own face as a reference just because I think that this photo is pretty straight on. In almost every face, the proportions will be about the same. Mind you, people look different and proportions are different for everybody. It's a very individualistic thing, so this is just a very average thing to keep in mind when drawing faces straight on. First, you're going to start off with your circle, your sphere, in order to represent the head. You can practice on many photos like this in order to get a better idea of how people's actual faces are laid out. Using reference is so important when studying and practicing for your own benefit. As you can see here, I sliced my circle on both sides and divided it across the y-axis, across the bottom of the inner circles, and the top. I then mark out the bottom of my chin and divide it directly down the middle on the y-axis. I'm going to lower the opacity so I can see what I'm doing later. First, for the eye placement, heads are typically about 5 eye widths across, and the eyes are generally 1 eye width apart. So you can see I traced my eye, and about one of my eyes fits in between both. In this photo, it's harder to see that a face is roughly 5 eyes across, but you get the idea with the space on each side. Your mouth will typically fall directly underneath your pupils of your eyes. So that will be the edge of your mouth. The corner of your nose will fit directly underneath the corner of your eye. This also aligns with the beginning of your eyebrow. Your ear falls in between your brow line and your nose line on both sides. Your mouth roughly falls on the bottom of your major circle you made, and your nose typically falls on the bottom of the inner circle guideline. Now let's practice everything that we've learned. Now that we've learned all that I know about the Loomis method and how to proportionally draw faces, here are some extra resources for you to learn and keep practicing. Step number 1 is to always have multiple references when studying. One of my favorite online resources to use is Line of Action. This website is great and does timed exercises where you can practice full body figures and portraits as well as animals too. If you're also struggling with hands and feet, they also have a section for that. This website is such a great resource and it's free. Another great way to practice is drawing from real life. Real life is your best resource because it's free and it's all around you always. You can draw your friends, loved ones, random people at the beach, in public, at the mall, in Starbucks, at a cafe, whatever you want. Just make sure to go out and observe. That is your best tool as an artist. Half of the job is observing your surroundings and observing the way that the world is made. It is an artist's job to observe their surroundings and pick out the most important details and display that and communicate that to an audience. So your real life surroundings is always going to be your best source of inspiration, the best way to study. My next go-to is definitely Pinterest. Pinterest has so many creative references that you can use, so many great artists and photographers that post their work daily. I have a reference board. If you would like to follow it, I have it linked in my description. This is where I keep a lot of my portrait and full body studies that I can reference later on when sketching and warming up or creating a final piece. Last but not least, YouTube is definitely my favorite free learning tool. YouTube has so many tutorials and the art community is growing every day. Here I've listed just a few of my favorite YouTube artists that you guys can check out if you would like. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I hope you guys are inspired to create. I love you guys and I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Bye.